Okay, so it's live. You should share the link again because maybe the link is different.
At what time?
Can you maybe live? Yeah, yes. Yeah. We just shut it down because so we cannot hear the sound anymore. Yeah, but don't worry. Don't worry, it's okay. 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 Okay, then let's try that. Remember, we're gonna send you a new link. We're gonna send you a new link for the live stream to start it over again. Yeah, but it's different. We're gonna send you the link again. Sure, yeah, we're gonna try this out. Let's try.
Yes, right.
Live stream.
Yeah, we'll try to put the computer on the live stream so you can see.
Oh, that's the live stream. But I can know.
Yeah, mine is showing the presentation, the live stream. There's another one that's doing the live stream of the audience and the speakers. So we need the third one so you guys can see. So we need the third one to No, I mean, yeah, we are projecting, but we cannot see you. I just push the button on the picture.
And the one is already live. Right there? Yes, it is. It's here. Let me check it
Okay.
Just, I think that this is the best way and just see which slide is about. I'll give you I can find you on LinkedIn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. It's good. No?
No, I don't know.
Yes. Yes. No, they found it. So they were on the lobby room.
Chistes. Si sabes alguno. Bienvenido, ¿qué tal? Para los que no pudieron, oh, everything's working now. I'm pretty sure it is. Oh, yeah, it's working correct.
I've already sent the technical
So, is that good? Should I
better to show the scene, right?
Yeah.
You want to go here?
Well, I'll fix it.
Yeah.
So we're going to start off with that. Muchas gracias por venir igual. Más bien disculpen la demora para empezar el evento. Hay algunas personas que... No, it's alright. ¿Me pueden fijar al fondo? Sí. No te preocupes. Bueno, muchas gracias por venir. Este es el evento Launching Tour, porque ayer todos los que van a presentar el día de hoy han estado en Sao Paulo, Brasil. Hoy están en Lima, mañana van a estar en Ecuador, jueves en Colombia y el viernes se culmina con México. Así que los muchachos que van a presentar están súper cansados, por favor, pónganle harta buena vibra para que ellos también se contagien un poco. El objetivo del evento, básicamente, es comunicar a las personas qué es el blockchain y cómo se puede usar en nuestro día a día. No sé si han tenido la oportunidad de ir a algún otro evento sobre el blockchain. Y muchas veces se habla sobre la tecnología en sí, sobre términos muy específicos, que al final tú te quedas con un sinsabor de, está bien, sé que el blockchain es importante, sé que entender cómo es que funciona, tras bambalinas, como se dice, está bien, pero ¿y ahora qué? Ahora que estoy en mi vida laboral normal, ahora que estoy en casa, ¿cómo lo utilizo? ¿Cuál es el valor agregado que me da esta tecnología? Es por ello que todas las blockchains ahora que han venido aquí a Lima y a todo el tour tienen un producto o servicio ready, el cual van a poder utilizar el día de hoy, y cada blockchain startup nos va a enseñar cómo utilizar y sacarle el mayor beneficio a cada uno de estos servicios o productos. Así que, más demora, les presento a nuestra primera startup. Do you want to make your own introduction?
It's okay.
Okay, that's cool. You can grab that one.
Bueno, perfecto. No vamos a ver Netflix, no, no se la crean. O hay alguna película que quieran ver en Netflix. Nos permítame conectarme aquí y iniciar. Bueno, pues bienvenidos a todos. Mi nombre es Eduardo Garza. Soy Community Manager de Status para toda la comunidad en español. Y pues bueno, es un placer para mí poder estar aquí presente con todos ustedes y transmitirles esta tecnología, esta nueva revolución que está sucediendo a través de estas nuevas aplicaciones descentralizadas, sistemas y pues iniciativas que se están haciendo alrededor del mundo, que venimos a compartir con todos ustedes para que realmente puedan tener esa comprensión y saber cómo utilizar esta tecnología hacia su beneficio y puedan compartirlo con el resto de sus familiares, conocidos, amigos, enemigos o quien quieran. Pues bueno, como menciono, yo represento Status. Esa es nuestra página de internet, el cual los invito a que la visiten para que puedan tener ahí también una mayor comprensión de todo lo que estamos haciendo. Sin embargo, ahorita les tengo una presentación lista para ustedes, el cual voy a iniciar en este momento. ¿Hay algún control? Bueno, lo voy a mover de aquí de lado. Bueno, en Status creemos fuertemente en la libertad, en darle al pueblo, a la comunidad, esas herramientas que generen, ahora sí, independencia económica de las plataformas o servicios y instituciones centralizadas que conocemos, no específicamente nada más bancos o gobiernos, sino también los que utilizamos actualmente hoy en día. Puede levantar la mano aquí las personas que utilizan alguna aplicación de mensajería como WhatsApp, Telegram o alguna otra similar. La mayoría, ¿no? Y los que no se culpen, no hay problema. Y pues bueno, nosotros en Status estamos revolucionando todas estas herramientas también de comunicación para que ustedes puedan ser, como dije ahorita, libres e independientes y tener el control de su comunicación, tanto como de mensajería, también como de finanzas, y también el poder de ustedes poder accesar cualquier plataforma que decidan entrar en cuestión de tecnología descentralizada. ¿Qué es Status? Pues bueno, aquí tengo unos screenshots muy bonitos. Mando saludos a mi compañero Alex de Status, que nos ayudó con esta presentación. Nosotros somos una mensajería, el cual tenemos, ahora sí que la opción de poderte comunicar. Ahorita voy a explicarles un poco más de detalle cómo es esto. Tenemos una cartera digital y tenemos un navegador. ¿Ok? El chat, la mensajería que tenemos para podernos comunicar. Puedes enviar y recibir mensajes completamente cifrados de peer-to-peer o de persona a persona, sin comprometer la seguridad de estos mensajes, ya que nosotros no tenemos servidores centrales. Los servidores que se utilizan son descentralizados, y esto quiere decir de que en todas partes del mundo hay personas, así como han escuchado de los mineros, ¿sí? Bueno, así como este tipo de mineros, pero en este caso te corren nodos de conexión para permitirte accesar a estos protocolos y poderte comunicar. El protocolo que nosotros utilizamos para esa tecnología se llama Whisper, susurro en español, ¿no? Que quiere decir que este protocolo es un protocolo montado, digamos, oscuro, donde no hay acceso a esa mensajería que estás transmitiendo. Y pues bueno, nosotros buscamos fortalecer el sistema de comunicación, como mencionaba ahorita, para que no haya esa complicación de que el gobierno quiera en cualquier momento pedirle la base de datos a la compañía y poder acceder a todos esos mensajes que se han permitido, como ha sucedido con Telegram en Rusia y en otros países. Nosotros en Status, como mencionaba, es totalmente descentralizado. Prácticamente somos, bueno, antes de que diga la palabra, ¿conocen Ethereum? La blockchain de Ethereum. Bueno, nosotros somos un cliente ligero de Ethereum, prácticamente en tu bolsillo. Por eso somos en el móvil. También estamos trabajando en desktop, en versión de escritorio. Sin embargo, nuestra prioridad es el móvil para que todos puedan tener acceso a esa tecnología. Porque, pues, no sé si alguien de ustedes ya ha utilizado alguna plataforma del ecosistema de blockchain. ¿No? ¿Nadie? Ok. Normalmente se hace que a través de tu computadora, ¿verdad? Pues bueno, nosotros estamos garantizando este acceso literalmente en tu bolsillo, tu móvil, en cualquier parte que te encuentres. Y bueno, también antes de terminar con lo del chat, de la comunicación, dentro de nuestro chat tenemos la oportunidad también de poder marcar transacciones. Por ejemplo, digamos que estamos en un partido de fútbol y se le tiene que pagar al referee, ¿verdad? O al árbitro, como se le llama aquí. Y pues bueno, no todos traen efectivo, entonces tú tienes tu grupo de chat en Status, te juntas con tu equipo y sabes qué, ok, yo lo pago, nada más mándenme su cripto, el toque que quieran de RS20 del ecosistema de Ethereum, y así todos contribuyen y tú recibes tu compensación o tu pago a través de un sistema de chat. Igual para servicios y, por ejemplo, puede servir como punto de venta, como para, digamos, una tienda de ropa que quieren empezar a aceptar cripto. Básicamente nada más descargan Status y también pueden aceptar a través del sistema de chat. Tenemos esta billetera que te permite hacer transacciones a tus contactos, a contactos o direcciones de carteras de Ethereum en general. Y pues bueno, te permite almacenar y enviar todas estas criptomonedas RS20 como Ethereum, SNT o SNT, que es nuestro token de utilidad, y otros criptoactivos como mencionas de Ethereum. Y todo eso totalmente, como pueden ver, con un UI totalmente sencillo, muy simple de utilizar, descriptivo, no hay de que, oye, ahora dónde le tengo y ya le piqué para enviarlo y no me equivoqué, ya mandé los fondos a otra persona. Súper sencillo de utilizarse. ¿Ok? Antes también, en esta cartera se pueden guardar coleccionables digitales. ¿Han escuchado de CryptoKitties? ¿Sí? Bueno, por ejemplo, esos criptogatitos bonitos los puedes guardar también en tu cartera, aquí de Status, y también otros coleccionables digitales, como también tenemos Super Rare. ¿Han escuchado de Super Rare? Una plataforma donde tú puedes poner tu arte digital y subastarlo a través de criptomonedas, y ya una vez que tú tengas tu criptoarte, lo puedes almacenar también. El navegador de DApps. ¿Saben qué es un DApp? ¿Alguien? Ok, una aplicación descentralizada, así es. Y pues bueno, como mencionaba ahorita, normalmente para accesar a todas esas plataformas se ocupaba, porque ya es cosa del pasado, se ocupaba tu computadora, el escritorio, tu laptop, MetaMask, etcétera, para poder accesar. Ahora puedes accesar a todos esos apps dentro de nuestro navegador en status y obviamente interactuar con ellos, hacer transacciones, permitirles acceso a tu cartera, porque obviamente hay aplicaciones utilizadas que necesitan hacer transacciones, obviamente. Entonces nosotros pusimos recientemente un sistema de seguridad o un modo de seguridad para el navegador, donde tú optas el dar acceso a tu cartera, por así decirlo, no que entren a sacar tus fondos, sino para que puedas hacer transacciones y que sea visible que existe una cartera de tu parte para interactuar con aplicaciones centralizadas. Y pues bueno, hay una lista ya predeterminada dentro del status de diferentes apps que puedes navegar, como exchanges descentralizados, para ofrecer tus servicios, o tú también encontrar trabajo ahí, no sé si eres diseñador, developer, si vas a hacer traducciones, también puedes entrar a plataformas como está B.o.T, también lo puedes accesar ahí. Y pues en fin, hay hoy en día ya cierta cantidad de apps y todos los puedes accesar en tu bolsillo o en tu máquina, en tu celular. Registración ENS. ¿Qué es ENS? Ethereum Name Service. ¿Qué quiere decir esto? Pues bueno, sabemos que hoy en día cuando tienes una cartera de Ethereum, ¿verdad? De criptos, pues es todos estos números y letras combinadas que tienes que estarla pasando a tu compañero o a la persona para que te mande transacciones o viceversa, ¿no? Y la verdad es de que es muy difícil recordar de memoria todos esos números y letras. Entonces, ¿qué hacen los INS? Es darte un nombre de usuario dentro del ecosistema de Ethereum y así mismo permitirte compartir ese nombre de usuario para que te encuentren tanto como tu cartera para que te manden transacciones o tú envíes, y también se genera una conexión con tu código de contacto de estatus para que te puedan mandar mensajes ahí directamente. Por ejemplo, aquí vemos que dice crypto.stateofus.ed. Ese es, digamos, el nombre de usuario, o la referencia que podría ser es como un domain que se utiliza hoy en día en las plataformas que utilizamos en la web 2, ¿no? Pero ese es el domain para la web 3. Y nosotros tenemos un DApp, una aplicación centralizada dentro de status, el cual tú puedes entrar una vez que descargues tu status en tu celular, puedes entrar a este DApp y registrar tu INS. Simplemente, sé que aquí dice 100 SNT, pero no son 100, son 10 SNT lo que se ocupa. Y un poquito de Ether para la transacción, para el gas, ¿no? ¿Alguien ya tiene registrado algún nombre de usuario dentro de Ethereum? ¿No? ¿Les gustaría tener un nombre de usuario dentro de Ethereum? ¿Sí? ¿No? No sean tímidos. ¿Sí? Bueno, ahorita voy a compartirles un link donde ustedes se pueden unir a Status y ustedes que nos mencionen que estuvieron aquí presentes en esta bonita conferencia, Meetup en Perú, que es demasiado bonito Perú, la verdad, mi primera vez aquí. Nos mencionen que estuvieron ahí, para el día de mañana más tardar, yo me estaré comunicando con ustedes una vez tenga ahí sus mensajes y les estaré mandando algo de nuestro token SNT y algo de Ethereum para el gas. No creo que les voy a mandar un de completo, pero sí les voy a mandar algo sobre el gas para que puedan registrarse su nombre de usuario y con confianza yo los guío en el proceso para que se les sea simple de registrarlo y así comiencen a utilizar Status como mensajería, como cartera, como navegador y simplemente compartan el nombre de usuario y sea fácil de interactuar. ¿Ok? El ecosistema de Status, porque bueno, ahorita les estuve hablando yo de nuestra aplicación o nuestro día que es móvil. Sin embargo, nuestro ecosistema es amplio. Nosotros no buscamos nada más darte el acceso de Ethereum en tu móvil, sino que buscamos empoderar el ecosistema de Ethereum en general, porque creemos que hoy en día Ethereum es uno de los mejores blockchains y por lo tanto nos enfocamos tanto en eso que decidimos hacer otros proyectos. Como por ejemplo el primer proyecto que dice Status Incubate, de hecho traigo aquí una bonita playera de ellos. Status Incubate pues, es una incubadora que apoya proyectos de la Web3, como apps, aplicaciones descentralizadas, protocolos, o cualquier idea que ayude a la escalabilidad de Ethereum. Nosotros los apoyamos. ¿Hay developers aquí? Vale, sí hay. Bueno, si en algún momento tienen algún proyecto y quieren o buscan la manera de que los apoyamos tanto financieramente, con apoyo técnico, marketing, legal, y obviamente los ayudamos a conectar y seguir elevando para que su proyecto llegue a donde deben llegar. Tenemos Status Embark. Status Embark para los developers es un framework para desarrollar aplicaciones descentralizadas. Muchos han comentado que es como el WordPress para crear aplicaciones descentralizadas. O sea, lo que trato de decir es de que es muy sencillo para utilizarse. Sé que uno de los idiomas de código que se utilizan para desarrollar es JavaScript, entonces no es tan difícil. Bueno, yo no soy developer, pero me imagino que para ustedes no es tan difícil. Tenemos diferentes plugins ahí dentro de este framework que se conectan con protocolos diferentes para que puedas ahora sí que conectar tu aplicación descentralizada con diversos servicios o funciones. Tenemos Status Nimbus. Status Nimbus es ahora sí que los que se están encargando de desarrollar este cliente ligero de Ethereum para que puedas tener acceso a la conexión de Ethereum en tu móvil, porque pues obviamente para tener conexión de Ethereum, como mencionaba ahorita hace rato, es a través de tu laptop, protocolos, etcétera, y es un poco más complicado. Y ahorita se sigue desarrollando todavía este método de cliente ligero de Ethereum para que se pueda lograr y tener acceso en cualquier móvil. Status Hard Wallet. Pues bueno, ¿alguien de aquí tiene Ledger, Nano o Trezor? Bueno, somos como un hardware, pero no somos un aparatito, sino es una tarjeta. Es una tarjeta el cual simplemente al momento de que tú la coloques a través de tu dispositivo móvil, se conecta junto con tu cartera de estatus y así obviamente con todo, tu llave privada, etcétera, queda completamente protegida y con seguridad dentro de tu tarjeta y no está comprometida tu cartera digital y así puedes construir más tus ahora sí que criptoactivos. Status Design Team es un proyecto donde estamos empoderando también al diseño, especialmente UX, que hace mucha falta en el ecosistema de Ethereum, porque pues obviamente para poder hacer una adopción masiva de todo esto se ocupa un buen diseño y una buena experiencia de usuario. NIM es un lenguaje también que se utiliza en ese ecosistema de Ethereum. La verdad no tengo ahorita en mente muy específico cuáles son las acciones reales que hace NIM dentro del sistema de Ethereum, sin embargo es un lenguaje de código que está aportando todo el ecosistema de Ethereum para que sea, digamos, más fácil y práctico de utilizarse en Internet. Pues bueno, antes de que me despida, como les mencionaba, si deseas utilizar Status, puedes descargarlo si tienes Android directamente de Google Play. Nada más lo buscas como Status Ethereum y te debe de aparecer en Android. Eso sí les menciono, ahorita estamos nada más dando el soporte a la versión de Android 6 para arriba. Entonces, sé que probablemente ya en el futuro estamos trabajando para poder soportar más versiones antiguas. Sin embargo, ahí lo puedes descargar en el Play Store o en iOS, simplemente entra a nuestro website, status.im. No estamos en el App Store ahorita todavía, que ahora lanzamos la versión, digamos, 1, sino estamos en versión beta y por lo tanto la puedes probar a través de TestFlight, que es esta manera de poder probar aplicaciones dentro de iOS. Y como mencionaba, simplemente entrando a nuestra página de internet, status.im, ahí puedes accesarlo. Si ocupan internet, Wi-Fi para descargarlo ahorita, ahí tenemos donde viene la clave de Wi-Fi para que se conecten, lo descarguen ahorita y podemos intercambiar ahorita códigos de contacto y estar en comunicación. Y como les mencionaba, para más información, únete a nosotros en Status, estamos para resolver sus preguntas, dudas, que nos comenten sus inquietudes, que voten, porque también tenemos sistemas de votación para que la comunidad sea parte del desarrollo de Status, porque Status está hecho por la comunidad, para la comunidad. Somos un proyecto open source totalmente descentralizado, así que ustedes pueden ser parte también del equipo. ¿Sabes qué? Yo quiero esta funcionalidad, así que simplemente únete a Status. Este link que ven aquí Si gustan tomarle foto o a ratito también si bajan el status, les puedo pasar el canal. Bueno, perdón, es el de Brasil, pero tengo uno en español. En lugar de donde dice Brasil es Spanish. Igual como les mencioné ahorita, los contacto con ustedes, los que quieran unirse. Y ahí donde ustedes pueden dejar su mensaje, que estuvieron aquí presentes, y conectamos y mañana, más tarde, les puedo hacer esa transferencia de su SNT y algo de EPE para que revisen su nombre de usuario dentro de EPE. Gracias. ¿Alguna pregunta antes de que siga algo más?
Esta propuesta de valor de comparación de repente con lo que era Toshi y ahora es una forma de convencionales. Y bueno, la gente de Telegram o más.
Sí. Nosotros somos totalmente descentralizados, esa es la diferencia. Utilizamos protocolos que no comprometen nada de descentralización y esa es la gran diferencia que hay dentro de esas otras plataformas avanzadas. Es tiempo real. Por ejemplo, si ahorita descargas status, nos comunicamos y puedes ver que es tiempo real. ¿Sale? Igual las transacciones. Okay. Si tienen más preguntas, ahorita voy a estar aquí. O va a haber, cuando terminen las presentaciones, va a haber un tiempo de networking. Acérquense conmigo porque por el tiempo siguen los demás. ¿Ok? Gracias.
Okay. Michelle, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, we can.
O bueno, a ver, mientras que se acomode, ¿tiene alguna otra pregunta? Sí,
Temas de comunicación pueden enviar también de imágenes, videos o texto por ahora.
Por ahora, ahorita sí, ahorita por el momento solamente es texto. Estamos trabajando ya en la implementación de poder enviar imágenes y video con otros protocolos totalmente descentralizados. Sin embargo, hay herramientas que te permiten, por ejemplo, tomar un screenshot de lo que quieras mandar, la subes en esa plataforma y compartes el link dentro del sistema de chat y ya simplemente lo abren y ven la imagen. ¿Alguna otra? Antes de que escuche por acá. Sí. Disculpa, ¿podrías acercarte o hablar un poquito más fuerte o pasar el micrófono? No escucho.
Las redes que tiene el chat en sí, te dan una portfolio o cuánto puedes tener o puedes importar una que ya tienes saldo bueno, de manera personal.
¿Te refieres a importar una cartera que ya tienes a
Así es.
Sí se puede, sí es posible. Igual, si te interesa eso, puedo buscar ahorita el link donde ya se trabajó en esa implementación de poder hacer compatible tu otra cartera con la cartera de esta. ¿Tienes una pregunta? Group chat. Sí, de hecho, ahorita en la versión beta que tenemos disponible en Play Store y en Test Flight, todavía no está la funcionalidad de Group Chat, pero tenemos obviamente los nightly builds, que son que van desarrollándose día a día, y ya se implementó, o en desktop también ya tenemos la status en desktop, y ya también hay la opción de Group Chats. Sin embargo, ya creo que para la siguiente versión que vamos a lanzar, ya para Google, para Play Store y para Test Flight, ya está. Recuerden, descarguen status.
Yeah. Okay, can you hear me? All right, let me just launch your presentation. Okay, you're good. Your presentation is on. Sorry?
Going this next.
No?
Okay.
Okay.
Muchas
So, antes de empezar, bueno, ahora vamos a exponer ejercicios. Are you ready? Can you?
All right, so you can hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
It's okay, I'm so sorry that we are not able to join you tonight at this event. I'm really forward to coming to Lima together with yours. I hope you understand that it's quite an important invitation for us. We're actually now at a terrace restaurant somewhere in Sao Paulo with a poor internet connection. I'm using a laptop for the calling to and another laptop. I've got my own PowerPoint feed, so please forgive me. I'll do my best to convey the message and send me some questions via text afterwards. Okay, so I'm telling the first slide. My name is Bill, as I said. I'm with Keyword. I'm the inclusive insurance lead at Keyword. I won't go into the technicalities of blockchain technology itself. We won't be talking about the technicalities of the smart contract. I will talk about inclusive insurance and why it is a perfect match for our blockchain technology. Please go to the next slide now. A little bit about eFirst. So what we are doing at eFirst is developing a decentralized insurance platform to collectively build insurance products. And with decentralized, we mean that various parties all around the globe work together on providing insurance products. For example, a data scientist or a risk modeler who's based in Lima can develop a risk model together with a group of farmers. Maybe there is an insurance company that is willing to share its license, and together we can sell this product. And everybody who is involved in this insurance product and the development of it will earn a fair share for it. What we do at eFirst is to automate the underlying risk view that we do with blockchain technology. And I'll come back to that later. What I now would like to do is to go to the next slide, please, and I would like to show a short video of our first licensed insurance product that we were able to develop together also with other people, and it's the flight delay insurance product. Please confirm to me via text if you can see the video right now.
No. Can you send me the link?
Text on Telegram works.
Are you able to see the video of the flight delay product?
They're putting it.
What is the link?
I did not do it. It's in the
Can you see it, guys?
sorry, the link is on the third page of the presentation. You can select the image itself. It's a hyperlink to the YouTube website.
Right there.
Or else you can find the link in the comment sites below the page itself. Is it working?
Yes.
The first decentralized application that provides insurance against flight delays or cancellation.
Yeah.
The application is fully licensed.
These are the other things.
Operates on a public blockchain. If the flight is delayed by 25 minutes or more, the payout can be received immediately after the landing. There is no need to turn to an insurance company and go through endless paperwork. Flight delays have already provided policies to animals for Peru, in Shanghai, Frankfurt Street in Cancun, and Cherry Summit Street in New York.
Said something about people.
Buying your insurance policy is B.o.T entity.everything.com. To apply for policy, you need to fill in this form. Select your flight schedule at least 24 hours before the flight's departure. Confirm that you have a ticket for this flight. As soon as you fill in all the fields, click the Apply button. You can see the list of available flights. Select the flight number. Select the currency. Acceptable currencies are US dollars, euros, or British pounds. Currency payments in euros are not available. So let's see how to buy a policy in PDF. Enter the amount you want to pay at the premium. You can then see this in the payouts for reception delays. For each currency, there is a default minimum and maximum value for premium. Click Apply button. Enter your credit card details. The smart contract to approve the transaction and a copy of the certificate of insurance will be sent to your email. Here's how the email with the certificate of insurance looks like. The certificate is attached. Term of insurance policy is also sent to your email. Here you can see the policy ID and the customer ID. You can check out your policy in real time. Scroll down to the Watch Your Policy section. It says your customer ID. You can copy it from the email. Here you can see the list of policies that you bought. If your flight is delayed, cancelled, or diverted, you will get an email with instructions on how to get your money through electronic funds transfer.
Presentation. Whoops.
We're surrounded by digital transactions, millions and billions of them. These transactions form the value.
Sorry, guys.
Alright guys, I hope this video clarified a little bit. So this is our item insurance. As I said, I'm focusing on inclusive insurance, and that is about, please go to the next slide, which says, what it shows the description of inclusive insurance. So as it says, the term inclusive insurance, or sometimes also referred to as life insurance, typically refers to insurance services that are offered to low-income populations. Clients with low income and limited access to mainstream insurance and they also have not so many opportunities to cope with other ways of coping with risk. One of the problems that you see happening for organizations that want to reach those people is that if you are an organization that wants to offer microinsurance products, you need technology. And the case is that that type of technology that helps you to reach scale is quite expensive. And if you are an organization that doesn't have money, you are not able to reach scale. So there you have the paradox. In microinsurance, it is very important that your operational costs are as low as possible. We talk about very low premiums, and the transaction cost must be as low as possible. If you are not able to reach that, it's not possible to become sustainable. So please go to the next slide. Over here you see an image. I just gave you some examples why still there are so very few people who have limited access to insurance. Only in Latin America, 8.5 persons out of 100 have access to insurance. And that is not only about the operational costs, but the access to life insurance is also measured by the ease for a low-income person to buy an insurance product. Research has shown that often the purchase decisions are postponed because clients encounter too many problems to buy an insurance product, to get enrolled, to pay a premium, or to renew a policy. What you see, certainly this is also the case in Peru, and you have farmers who are living in remote areas. There's no distribution networks. If it's too expensive for an insurance company to set up an agency that is able to inform farmers about the opportunities insurance can bring. And then many people will be illiterate, so they have difficulties to understand actually the benefits and the logistics of insurance products. What you also see is that the insurance companies require a lot of documentation, or something simple for us perhaps, that you have an ID. But in the emerging economy, many people don't even have an identification document, and then they are not able to purchase a product. So I would like to go to the next slide, please. These are a number of reasons why still about 1.6 billion people have no access to insurance. And of those 1.6 billion people, 500 million small-scale farmers who are actually responsible for a large portion of the food production have no access to insurance. Try to imagine what will happen if you can think about a way to provide access to risk protection for those group of farmers. I think this will be beneficial for the whole world. At the same time, there's also a lot of business opportunity. Okay, I'd like to go to the next slide. Now I come to the point of blockchain technology. What is blockchain technology going to change about that? I hope you agree with me that one of the interesting features of blockchain technology is that of cryptocurrencies is that now it is possible to transact small amounts of money at a low cost anywhere around the globe. The technology below blockchain technology, many of the blockchain technologies are open source, which allows you to develop applications on top of it in a much more cheaper way than before. Another feature that I'm convinced of is that blockchain technology will change each market which is heavily intermediate. Banking industry, agriculture, healthcare, but also the insurance industry. This is a very heavily intermediate business. So now you have the opportunity to use smart contracts. You can streamline and automate insurance processes. For example, think about the smart contract that is used for flood insurance. So if a certain amount of rain has fallen, then automatically a payment will be made. So then you can send payments to insurer immediately. There's no need for a farmer to contact the insurance company, which is based far away in the city. But there's also no need for an insurance company to send somebody in the field to verify the claim has occurred. So here you are able to eliminate the need for an adjuster. And this concept can be expanded to much more sophisticated insurance processes. You are now able to reduce the operational expenses of an organization. Please go to the next slide. So, quickly, I would like to run you through how such an automated insurance product looks like. So, on the left-hand side, you see an arrow, which looks into the payments of premiums. So, you can create a smart contract that monitors incoming market. And if the money has been paid, the stop and automatically policy will be issued. The money will be. Sorry about that. Okay. The money of that will go to.
Alright.
I'm going to central reserve and create a smart contract that is monitoring and ensuring that minimum capital ratios are being maintained. If it's not maintained, then it's not possible to sell an insurance policy or automatically premium has to go up. And also for the money going out, I think now create a smart contract that looks into, for example, satellite data, or data that's provided by weather stations or ground sensors or other kinds of internet things. You can send out information or the data that triggers the smart contract and automatically payment will be made. This could be done in cash or in tokens. Those tokens could, for example, be exchanged at suppliers or farmers providers. So, blockchain technology can improve solutions for enrollment, payment collection, renewals, but also could help to provide access to capital. But let me go to the next slide, please. Sorry, guys.
Sometimes you can't stop the party.
Yeah,
You know?
Sorry, guys. So the question I'd like to ask, and that's something that we're working on. But now you have the opportunity to automate the insurance product. You can also think about innovating the way the risk view works, program money. So why not provide an affordable risk protection to small-scale farmers that at the top of the value chain support? Please go to the next slide. So here you see an image of a value chain. In a value chain, and especially for small-scale farmers, the farmer is the weakest link. But anybody else in this value chain depends on the quantity and quality of the product that's produced by the farmer. If a farmer has no product, the farmer supply will have no sales. The producer has no product, they won't be able to deliver to a retailer. And if the retailer has no product, the consumer will have no product. So that's why there's a value for each party in a value chain to participate. And now we can prove it one. So the thing is, what would be the incentive to cover and to be willing to cover risk for a farmer? Actually, this is something, please go to the next slide, that we have just recently started doing together with Oxfam in Sri Lanka and AO. So where we are working to automate an index-based crop insurance product, but at the same time also start looking into how we can improve the value chain and also supporting this product. And this is also a question for you of very audience. If you are in any way also involved in something like this, and for example, like agricultural value chain, if you are connected to farmers, if you think they might be benefiting from an insurance product, we would like to work together with you. As we said, we are building a decentralized insurance protocol, meaning that we want and we must work together with you. You have the feet on the ground, and let's see if we can do something together. So, I want to leave it with this. I have a final slide, especially to thank you for your attention. I hope you were able to follow it. I hope I have at least a few guys or ladies in the audience that think, okay, well, this is something we can do, and then I would be very happy. Thank you very much again. And again, very sorry that I was not able to be here in person today. Bye-bye.
Alright, let's go to the next one.
Right. Yeah, so tell me,
1 minute.
See, ask me for 1 minute.
tell me when we get my slides up.
Yeah, what you know?
No, ya, la siguiente es give it
Y básicamente lo que hace es construir el futuro de la caridad. ¿Alguna vez han querido donar dinero, pero no confían al 100% en la ONG a la cual quieren donar? Dicen, oye, voy a ahorrar 5 años, pero me llegará ese dinero. Entonces, básicamente lo que está haciendo Give es asegurar que ese dinero pueda ser trazado y cada donante pueda saber a dónde va el dinero que está donando. Así que ahora nos van a dar la presentación.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's, you know, from this view, I mean, we can tell that you work out, man. You look good. I hope so.
Okay. Here. I'm not really speaking.
Maybe the volume is down.
No, it's up.
No, you're not talking.
Excuse us.
That's so weird.
Is the Give It Back.
Hey, can you start over? Griff.
The Give It Back is trying to solve the problem of charity today. The way we organize ourselves, I have to start again? No.
Sorry, we didn't have the sound.
All right,
You can start over.
what?
Now we can hear you. You can start over.
Okay, so I'm just gonna hope that you guys can hear me now. But basically, Giveth is a community focused on blockchain for good. So we're a whole bunch of random people working on a bunch of random projects. And if any of you are interested in trying to get into this space or learning about the blockchain tech, or just trying to make the world a better place using this technology, we are a great community that can start you into finding grants and finding other contributors that can help you on your path. We're just trying to be a big catch-all for interesting people that want to learn. So definitely, if anything that I say during this talk interests you, come on into our Riot chat, and you can see the link right there, giveth.io/join. Giveth has a lot of projects, but the main project that we're working on, our flagship project, as they call it, is the Giveth app. You can click. So the Giveth app is trying to solve the problem of charities today. The fact of the matter is no one trusts charities right now. They got a really bad rap. And it's not really fair because there's a lot of awesome people in the charity space that are trying to do really amazing things. There's a lot of people trying to make the world a better place, but the system that we have in place is not really working with the people that are trying to change the world and make it better. It's working against them. And it's almost taboo to say these things, but it's really that we're using the corporate business model to do charity, and that's not what the corporate business model is made for. It's made for maximizing profit and really trying to grow, and get as big as possible. And extract as much profit out of whatever industry you can. This is the wrong way to go for charity. You know, another thing that charities love to do is make themselves a middleman, and that's what the diagram on the screen is. Donors send money to a corporate charity, and then they have no idea what happens with it. And then the charity sends it to projects, but the projects have no idea who the donors are. And this is a missed opportunity. They have an opportunity to connect people who have money and want to make a change in the world with people who have the time and energy to make that change a reality. And we just let it go. Click. So our vision is pretty much the same thing. Donors send money to projects. We just pick up the charity. It's not that crazy. But you don't need blockchain technology for that. You can do a lot of good things, right? You can do Kickstarter, GoFundMe, and these kinds of things. And that's really valuable, but you still don't build this big community around it. And so what Give.it tries to do is click. We make sure that whenever someone donates, they get connected to the project through social media, right? Redes sociales, which is great. But if and then click again. And then we can actually build decentralized communities around these causes, right? You can create a community around, saving the rainforest. And then people can share ideas, and all the projects can join those communities and work together. And if one project has a success, then all the projects can see it, and they can take that idea and run with it. Because unlike the way the charity space is structured today, where it feels like a competition, everyone is actually working together to support the same idea, to save the rainforest in this example. Next slide. So the reason we use blockchain is to really encourage traceable donations, because that's one of the most obvious, easy fixes that blockchain can bring to the charity space. Click it so that you can see DAI in the corner. We use DAI as our baseline currency because it's a stable token. They use some awesome incentivization mechanisms to create a stable currency that's $1 equals 1 DAI. This is really important for the charity space, because people who are running charities shouldn't be expected to speculate on currency. That's ridiculous. So just raising money in crypto is that's just not the way to go. And what Give.it's main structure, and if you go to beta.give.io, you can see it working right now. It creates this system where you can delegate your funds to someone else to make the decision on where to spend them, right? So you could delegate it to a cause, or you could delegate it just to your Uncle Tio. You click the button. Oh, sorry, Tio Carlos. I used to know Spanish, I swear. But yeah, so you can just say, hey, like, I want to help the rainforest. Tio Carlos, please start. He can start an organization and decide where all of his friends and family's money can go. Yeah. And then you can just send him and say, hey man, find some stuff that's rainforest. And then you can make that decision. So click the button again and you should see the Rainforest Trust. So he delegates to the Rainforest Trust, which is a great organization. They're on this story, they're on Give.it, and they're taking funds to actually find other projects that they can fund to buy out big pieces of rainforest. So he delegates to the Rainforest Trust. But in this, with the Give.it app, you maintain control over your donation, and you get an email that says, hey, Tio Carlos sent it over to the Rainforest Trust. And you could veto that if you like, which is really cool. And then if you click the button again, you'll see that you didn't veto it. Instead, the Rainforest Trust sent it to Regua, which is a group that's trying to buy up pieces of rainforest in the Brazilian Amazon. And they, here again, you'll get an email that says, hey, your money was just moved to this group Regua. If you'd like, you can join their chat room and you can talk to them. And you can see what they're up to. And if you don't like what they're doing, you could veto that decision to move the money to that spot. But you have 3 days to veto that decision. If after 3 days you don't do anything, they have to be able to secure those funds so they can do the good work that they're saying they're going to do. And what's really cool is just because you've lost authority over the funds doesn't mean that you lose traceability. We can see exactly which milestones your money goes to and what it does. So you can click again, and you should see the 3 little blue dots that pop up next to regular. So those represent milestones. And for money to come out, it has to be specified on what it's used for. Maybe it's paying someone's salary, maybe it's buying paying for lawyers to write up contracts to buy the land. And this is what's really cool, is that, and you don't really need a blockchain for this, they have escrows everywhere, but just because maybe this regular campaign, maybe they want to raise $1 million to buy up this piece of rainforest. And so they raise the money, and your money goes into the pot too. But then they don't necessarily need $1 million to get started. Maybe they only need 50,000 to get started. And the first milestone is completed. Gives them $50,000 when they raise the $1 million. And then from there, they use that $50,000 to try to complete the next milestone, which is paying for lawyers to actually write up contracts to buy the land that they want to buy. But let's say that for some reason the government of Brazil is just like, listen, you can't buy that land. We're going to log it. I'm sorry, you're done. Didn't work. Well, the nice thing is that money is the leftover money that hasn't been spent is stuck in the smart contract. So they can cancel this campaign, and the money can go back to the donors that sent it there in the first place to be reallocated to other projects at work. And this is the baseline system that we have here. And the really cool thing, if you click the button again, the really cool thing is that you can donate to any level of this. If you wanted to just support the last milestone that says, the success you buy when the rainforest is bought, you guys get this last $20,000 or something. You can put your money there, or you can put it into the campaign, or you can put it in the B.o.T for Rainforest Trust, or you give it to your own Uncle Tio. It's all good. It's a completely open system where anyone can donate to any piece of it and still see what happens with the money by the end. And at this point, honestly, and this is where we are now, we have this foundation built. We're really close to implementing stablecoins onto our platform. Right now, it's still Ether, and we're in closed beta, and all of this is working right now. But I don't think you honestly need blockchain technology to do all this. You could do it with an open database. What we're really excited about is using this as a foundation to change the way charity works, to really recreate a new system. And we're going to do that with DAOs. If you can click the button again, the good old Oregon guy replaces Uncle Tio, because wouldn't it be great if we could actually recreate our own governance structures, if we could change the way that that our community is organized and do it with smart contracts, so that there's a clear understanding of how decisions are made, and it's totally enforceable by the blockchain. And these are what DAOs are. I'm going to assume that you guys don't know what DAOs are, so let's go to the next slide. Should be governance decentralized. So DAOs, the systems of government that we use today with representative democracy, that's been around for hundreds of years. We're talking before trains were invented, okay? We have the internet, we have international travel, we have the opportunity to evolve in the way we make decisions as communities. And you can click the button again. And to do this, we're building a second dev team for the leaders in this space called Oregon. And so we're building a second dev team for them called Oregon B.o.T, which is really a community that's focused on bringing DAOs to people like you. You know, make it so that you don't have to understand the whole blockchain tech to start your own company or your own community using blockchain technology without having to get a business license or get a bank account. You can do everything online without having to worry about fighting corrupt officials or really interacting with any legal organizations. You can actually have any level of transparency or governance structure that you'd like with smart contracts instead of legal contracts. It's really exciting. And of course, you can just start your normal company and have a CEO and do everything the way you do it. But you can also start playing with other interesting concepts. You can click it again. So you should see on the screen, like, these are different governance structures. I kept some of them, I moved some of them to Spanish, like elecciones normales, or democracia directa. And like, these are things that you guys, I'm sure, have heard of, right? But there's other new concepts that are made really easy with blockchain tech that are just being researched because now we have the technology, now we have the ability to move value internationally without any friction. And we have the internet, the ability to communicate internationally without any friction. And so we can start doing really interesting things like liquid democracy. If you know, obviously you know the current structure where you vote for someone that 4-year term, they make all the decisions, and then you kick them out because they did a bad job, right? Ideally. But then there's this old system that existed before that where everyone got to vote on every single topic. Well, liquid democracy is like a hybrid between these two, where you can elect a representative for you, but it can be anyone, it can be your mob, right? And then they can delegate your vote and their own votes to someone else, who can delegate their votes to someone else. And you can almost imagine this like a delegation sheet that every representative that works for that is representing you has a 1-second term limit. If you don't like what they're saying, at any moment you just push a button and you get your vote back. And you can vote for yourself, or you can give your vote to someone else. And this is called liquid democracy. And it's just one of many exciting governance mechanisms that we have that we can start experimenting with now that we have doubts. You can run your company like this, or you can run a charitable community that wants to decide where's the best place to spend money to save the rainforest, right? There's all sorts of other cool things that are being investigated. Meritocracy, different ways to weight vote based on computation. There's prediction markets and futurarchy, quadratic voting. But what we're really excited about with it, our first big experiment is with these concepts called duration markets and bonding curves. Now, I am confident that most of you probably don't know what I'm talking about. It's definitely not worth explaining. You can go to the next slide. Because it is really complicated, and you can click. There is this beautiful there's this beautiful slideshow / blog post called Rewriting the Story of Human Collaboration by Jeff Emmett. If you are interested in this scenario, please check out this blog post. Basically, in short, the way it works, well, let me back up. I assume you guys know how the banking system works, and that's why most people get into Bitcoin, because it kind of sucks, right? Banks just get to create money out of nothing and give it to whoever they want. That's like short story, long story short. But in a way, that banking system is really cool, because what it does is it allows banks to give money to people to buy houses or start small businesses. They would never do that if they didn't get to create money out of nothing and give it to people. It actually allows, it actually kickstarts the economy in a lot of ways. But of course, it's not perfect. But it is an interesting concept that has really taken over the world. And that's why most fiat currencies do this. They give banks the power to create money out of nothing.
Oh, did I move it? No, it's hold on. This one? Yes. Are you texting Vicky? Say he's going?
Hemos perdido conexión unos minutitos, por favor.
See, there's a pause of 10 minutes, no?
So we should go to the break.
Yeah, 10 minutes.
What? 30?
We're back! Hooray! Everyone's yellow fever again. Okay, so I'm just going to like go straight back into what I was talking about. You guys all hear me?
Yes.
Can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah.
Okay. So what I was saying was that the Federal Reserve, right? The currencies, all the currencies in the world basically do the same thing. Where money is created out of nothing by the banks and given to people to incentivize the starting of the economy. And in Bitcoin, they turn that around. They still create money out of nothing, but they give it to miners to incentivize them to run their network, right? To run the Bitcoin network. And it gets a random number. Now all that effort's put in and gets a random number. But still, this was the concept. And then there were other currencies that even were crazier, right? Like Namecoin was the next cryptocurrency that was created. And it incentivized people to run a decentralized name reservation so that you could reserve a .Bitcoin domain. And then there was even cooler examples where you can pull proteins, right? And people are paid to use their computing power to do scientific research or to guess prime numbers. And so with cryptocurrencies, we have the ability to create money that is incentivizing people to behave a certain way, to do some kind of action. And that's what this experiment is all about, is trying to find a way to create money, to create a new currency that incentivizes people to save the rainforest, or to end homelessness in Lima, or to, I don't know, just pick up trash on the beach. And we can do these little experiments and with like picking up trash on the beach and perfect the parameters that are used to create these currencies. And I know it sounds crazy, but there's been a lot of research happening in the crypto space that has created crypto primitives that are able to actually achieve this. So please, if this interests you at all, this is the next big experiment on top of Givit, is actually creating incentive mechanisms. Because these currencies, it's not about money. It's a token that brings a community together and aligns incentives. And you see it in the blockchain space. You see everyone having this crypto tribalism, right? Where it's like, no, I'm a Bitcoin maximalist. No, all I care about is Ethereum. You know, it's because they all hold this token and it unites them together. It's not about money. It's about communities. And this is what we're trying to do at Givit, is use blockchain technologies to build communities around causes. And if this interests you at all, please check out this blog post. It explains it way better than I could. And next slide. So the Givit Galaxy, obviously the DApp is our flagship product and is one of the most exciting things that we're working on. But we have a lot of other projects. In fact, we're kind of a social coding incubator. So if you're working on any projects, or you know someone who is, or you want to be working on some blockchain projects, definitely come into our chat rooms and hang out with the social coding crew. If you're interested in governance experiments or anything, you can come to our governance channel and we can talk about the latest and greatest in crypto tech. And of course, if all you can do is write blog posts or communicate to people, communications room. Basically, it takes a village to pull this stuff off. So you guys are more than welcome to help us contribute. And next slide. Of course, you can donate to us either using our platform, data.give.io, or through our e-next domain, revolution.net. And if you're a coder, go for it, or of course join our community using this link right here. And I'll send the link to the slides in the WhatsApp channel. Thank you guys for listening, and thank you, Abhi, for letting me go over it. Thank you. I'll talk to you guys later.
Bueno, ahora vamos a hacer un receso de 10 minutos. Pueden ir a los servicios que están en el primer piso, a la mano derecha. Son las 6:42. 6:52, nos vemos acá. Gracias. So now we have to see if we can move this to. Yes.
There's WhatsApp groups for every location. How can I get invited?
And I earned it. So I will walk through this so everybody can understand what the application is about. And if you add value, then you can earn money with this application. So take out all your phones. Please. Take out all your phones. Everybody has this phone. And so Swarm City is a decentralized peer-to-peer marketplace. And there will come a QR code that you can scan. So you get access to our WhatsApp group. In this WhatsApp group, we will communicate how to be able to get Swarm City tokens later on. Ben, can you put the other side, please? Yes. So this is the QR code. Please scan it. So what is Swarm City? Swarm City is a sharing economy platform. I will read it. Next slide, please. These are all company names, and all of these companies can be made on the Swarm City platform. They say they are a peer-to-peer system, but actually it's a peer-to-middleman-to-peer system. So all these entities are centralized. Uber, for example, they're all centralized and owned by one company. This company has a lot of power and can use or abuse it. For example, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. These users can get blocked from their accounts because of the companies decide that the users are not using the product the way they want to use it. So what we also want to show you, next slide please. Thanks. So here you see the companies can block certain users because users do not use the product the way the companies like to. Next slide.
We cannot hear you.
So here, this is what we also want to show you, or we can focus on. These companies actually are making a loss. They have investors, and that's the only reason why they are still working today. Why do they do this? Why do they make a loss? Because then they can go under the price, they cut all the other competition, they gain the market share, and once they are in a monopoly position, they can dictate the price. This price war goes on the back of the people providing the service. The driver cannot pay for his bills, the gas, or the maintenance, and these companies are really squeezing the people. So to demonstrate how centralization works, in the next slide. You have three categories. The first one is a marketplace, where there is actually they offer the map so that the driver and the passenger can find each other. The next category is the business relationship, where the driver and the passenger fulfill the service. And the last category is the price and the payment section. In a centralized model, Uber would dictate the price, and the payment mechanism is integrated in the system, which is easy, but you don't have any choice of payment provider. The next slide. So let's change all that. And what would it mean if you would decentralize this, the way it is working now? The whole centralization would be gone, and there would be a separation between the marketplace and the business relationship, and a separation between the business relationship and the price. It's coming, it's coming. You see, it's blowing up. The handcuffs are blowing up. One more. Yes. One more. Yes. Yay, separation. So, for example, Uber can still have his marketplace, but the driver can start his own business, and that's a really different aspect of this. So the price and the payments are replaced by the blockchain and the cryptocurrency. So blown up, you can see. Yay, blockchain currency. So the blockchain part is only on the third part, but it has influence on the other two parts. So now you have a trusted model where you will receive the service and the price will be influenced only by the demand. So instead of creating an Uber, which is very complex, we will take a step back and we will use really easy things that you can use in your neighborhoods step by step. So you can try to sell things that you need on a daily basis, like, for example, milk, a babysitter, or a hug. So now let's do this. You go on your phone to swarm.city, please. Swarm.city. Next slide. So this is the screen that you see, and it takes some time to load because this is really entering the blockchain. Nothing is stored on the servers, so that is why. But if you just put swarm.city, you wait a little bit. This screen should come up. You press the enter here button. Is everybody following? Yes? Who is following? Who is not following? Okay, enter here. Next slide. You can create an account. You press that, you fill in a username, and you can choose an avatar if you want. Next slide. And then create an account. Sorry, I was too quick. Create an account. Next slide. Here you can fill in your username and choose an avatar if you want, and then you can go to the next one. You have to choose a password. The password is not stored anywhere, so if you lose it, it's gone. So take your password maybe for now that is not too difficult. So you have to put it in regularly because it's linked to your ID. Next slide. You choose a password, you confirm your passwords. And then you back up your accounts. You print your paper wallet because now it's not possible. You can maybe store it somewhere on your device. You put your password again. Who's still with me? The rest is not? Who is still with me? Okay. Again, a password, so next slide.
It's loading.
It's loading, okay. So here you see your private key and your public key. The private key is a key to your safe. So if you give it to somebody, he can take your money. The public key you can use to communicate with, and you can give it to other people, and it's like your bank account, basically. And then you can enter Swarm City. Is everybody going through the process?
Still loading.
Oh. Is it still loading?
Yeah.
No, because I have to explain that the 160 tokens, and then you will get some on your account, and that's why we have to do it step by step.
¿Alguien ha pasado el paso de WhatsApp? ¿Alguno?
So you have swarm.city, you enter, just going over it again, right? You have swarm.city, you enter. You create, was everybody able to create an account? Yes? Username and avatar also works? Okay. I only see one guy, yes.
What is it? Loading is the backup of the account. So the other process.
I know, yeah.
Maybe I can close the loading again.
You can, sure.
Give me chance to identify.
The backup part. Because the backup.
Yeah, you can, but then again,
But then you don't have to backup, that's the problem, you know?
How can we do it later?
yeah, you can do it later.
How can we do it?
I mean, you have to do a new account for it, but this is just to show you how it works. If you close it down now, then it's, and you don't have the backup.
I think like you're ready for it.
My backup is not.
Are there people who are already in the WhatsApp group? Who have scanned the QR code and were able to go in the WhatsApp group? Yeah. You use the QR codes for those who need it? So in the QR codes, normally you get an invitation to go to a WhatsApp group. The people of Sun City overseas are in the WhatsApp group, so you can ask them questions, you can talk to them, they're waiting for you. So if you close it, if you have a problem, close it with the backup and start again, and then you don't back up, but then I can show you the process because we are running out of time.
Lo que pueden hacer, lo que están siguiendo el proceso, pueden cerrar su ventana, entrar de nuevo a la página de Sun e ingresar. Y ahí te va a salir directo el paso.
Yeah. You can do that. You can earn something. Yeah.
I can do it. Then the next one is. Yeah.
If you say yes or whatever,
Vicky, you are the best.
Confirm. 24. And then for you. Yeah. There you go. Oh no. No, yes, but it's a fun. Yes. I have one person that's already finished. Close and start again. Reading. But I will explain, I will continue. So then you press enter .farm city, you get to see this image, and there you see the amount of tokens you have, 0.00 spots. If you press on that, there's two different types of accounts that pop up. One is the cash account, you can do daily, use it for daily yeah, payments. And you have the reserves, which is like your savings account.
You go on research?
If you press, keep going. So you press the spot to see how many tokens you have. Here is the cash. This is the reserves. Now, if you press here on the cash, next slide, please. You have two buttons, send and receive. If you click the receive, you get a short code. That short code you paste in the WhatsApp group, and then my team, they're reading, they will send you Smart City tokens. Yes. So this short code 33756 you paste into the WhatsApp group, and they will reply to you. Was there anybody already able to receive some tokens?
Yeah. That's the problem, we don't have the WhatsApp. We don't know.
It's connected to the QR code.
If you open WhatsApp, it should be connected. And you need a QR code.
Yeah. QR code is coming. Yeah.
Yeah. That's QR code.
If you scan this one, you will automatically get an invitation for the WhatsApp group where you can send your short code to receive tokens from Smart City.
You only have to copy the code, and then you go back.
Can I help somebody?
Can we go back? Everybody has to go. No. We have to go on because we're running out of time. It's not fair to the other.
We will get back to the code later on. We will send it to you or.
Okay, actually, we have to go.
If you want to see me later on, I can answer your questions and we can go through it and I can show you on my phone how it works. Thank you for listening.
Woo. Yeah. Great. No, no. Uma. Yeah. Is that? Waiting for Maria. She's trying to find me with the.
Oh, isn't she with the guy?
Is that?
Isn't she with the guy? That's Sandro. Is Sandro presenting?
No, it's not. It's Uma. Uma,
Okay, but
she's there.
yes, he's from Happy.
Yeah.
Is he going to?
I don't know. You can ask him.
So we have no other choice than waiting for him.
Yes. I'm trying to see if she replies.
What's his name?
Sorry? Is she there?
Oh yeah, I don't remember.
Symbol? She's a symbol.
Sandro.
Uma? Good.
Do you want to use that?
So can I?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you, that's all.
Bueno, la siguiente blockchain Instagram se llama Apex y es básicamente el Instagram del blockchain. Así que le damos la bienvenida a Uma. Uma, tú puedes.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry for these issues here, and I know it's late, so I appreciate you guys still being here with me. Even though not in person, but I hope that we make this work. So if the connection breaks, please let me know. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Lima. I'm co-founder and COO of Epic. And you already heard some really great presentations about projects that enable you to start using the benefits of blockchain and really become an early adopter of this new technology space that we're entering. So technology age and phase. So quickly about myself, I personally got introduced to the crypto world in 2013 by my mentor and co-founder who's currently in Switzerland. And back then, no one yet talked about Bitcoin or crypto, and yet my team and I were constantly talking about the potential impact this technology can have on a global scale and how it can shift our society forever and for the better if we make this work. But we also knew that in order to make this happen, we would have to find a way for anyone to use it and benefit from this technology easily without having to understand the underlying technology. So, and this is because, some people, including myself, who like to know how things work, but most people don't, and it just has to work. If we compare it to, for example, if you think about in your homes, you don't necessarily want to think about how electricity travels and turns into light when you turn on the switch in your homes, or you don't have to think about how a computer was built in order to use it. And so the same goes for blockchain. The technology just needs to be a new solution to a problem. So let's start by looking at some problems. Next. I'm just going to say next, and we'll go to the next slide. That would be great. I can't see if the slide has changed. Okay, so we're passion for it. Great. See, I believe that passion is something we all have, whether that's dance, music, arts, or football. Some of us get to live out our passions more than others and make a living from it. And others aspire to turn their passion into a paycheck someday. And then again, other people, and this is most people, and the majority, they've already given up on their passion because they don't think they're able to turn it into a business. And we've been really tricked to believe that earning money by doing something that you love is like privilege, that only a minority of few selected people can do it. And social media is a leading example of that. So let me share with you the message and the meaning of our slogan, Passion Before It. And this is going to connect to what I just said. So next slide, please. The problem side. So my team and I, we started to understand that the reason why so few people are able to live their dreams and do what they love is basically the same reason why poverty exists in the world and why the wealth of our global society belongs to less than 1% of the people. And it's because our world is built on centralized systems that were made to benefit only the very few at the top. And this is true for so many areas and industries that we know of. And so this is also true for the area that we're tackling today. Yeah. Next, please. We spend so much time using our phones, and it's continuing to increase. We're using apps, we're sharing our lives on a daily basis, commenting on our friends' pictures. And we would think, well, I can sign up for free for these platforms and I can spend time there for free. When in reality, next slide please, we're actually working for free for these billion-dollar worth companies, even though we're the ones who created the value in the first place. So essentially, we are the product of the company which gets sold to the advertisers. And we the users, we pay with our attention and with our time, as well as of course the content that we provide and distribute, like and share for free, and we do this often unknowingly. So, next slide, please. Oh, of course, yes, the more people join the network, by the way, this is a statistic from a centralized company that most of you probably are familiar with. So as the company grows in value and more people join, still the advertisers and the corporate shareholders are the only ones to benefit. Again, even though we are really the engine of the network.
users. Next slide, please. And so besides this injustice of value distribution, we've also become more aware of some other issues, including algorithms that manipulate the user's feed, which currently, as you probably know if you're using social media, is no longer chronological. And this is with the intention of presenting us, the users, more relevant advertisements that are based on our personal interests. And so we really have, it's not really a choice, it's not an option. We either have to accept being taken advantage of in a way by these platforms, or we decide to leave the platform entirely. And so there really was no other alternative. Next slide, please. So I hope we're at the slide with contribution to currency, am I correct? Okay. So this was really important to understand, and I went into the problem so much, because now that we understand that your contribution in social network is actually currency, and spending time being social is essentially doing what I call sugar-coated work without compensation. When we understand this, then we can start talking about the solution. Because in essence, this is really the main problem that ethics will solve. Just imagine if everyone from anywhere in the world could earn a fair share for their contribution to social network. Next slide, please. So my team and I, we realized that about 5 years ago, back when we were mainly focused on running a digital marketing agency, and we were working with content creators to businesses that wanted to build a brand online. And we were seeing on a daily basis how much time and creativity flows into these platforms, and yet the reward is close to nothing. And so we were very well connected at the time, still stay in the mainstream media space, as well as in the crypto space. This is quite a unique combination. But it wasn't until 2016, which was when we found a way to merge the tech with the social media world and bring to life what we call a next generation social media. Next slide, please. Now, a next generation social media ethics is something with the mission to return the value that gets created by the time spent on social network back to its source, so the content creators, but also the audiences who love them and support them, so people liking, commenting. And so essentially what we do is we turn the traditional social media hierarchy around by giving its users the opportunity to receive financial compensation directly from their engagement and earning real revenues from receiving likes directly via blockchain. And so this is what we call a new floating rate, because essentially it's you doing work and then being rewarded instead of the mining machines doing the work and securing the network. It's us, the people, and we're just getting our fair share for that. And so it's really a revolutionary win-win concept, and would like to demonstrate this visually and show you a short version of our imagery. So go ahead and press play. Hope this is going to work. This is our, this should be the link that I sent you, the first link. Is it working?
Yes, it is.
All the time. Social media takes the lead in the workshop and the lead with vendor with valuable answers. Many hours of their daily life and sharing content. You don't just get work, you already time online. But we are workforce and render value of social media companies. They were only there to get a return on our investment. The revolutionary technology, evidence is released with new inputs that further lifestyle income inside more mobile apps. In other words, we change life into good. For ethics, you can continue with others. Change your lifestyle online. When you upload something, you open like the comment. One thing, every like creates a monetary reward, which means you get paid directly from the reward of others. There are 2 billion unbanked people in the world. In our modern society, ethics can provide an additional source of income. But in third world countries, it can even change lives, provide security and more stability. Even if you choose to upload your own content, you can still benefit from rewarding others for the work of your life.
We can send direct transactions to non-business accounts, which are totally secure, credited in a matter of seconds. No fee, no delay. You can send money using direct transfer, just like you would send a message to someone and receive it instantly without a third party. Now what can you do with your earned coins? You can not only transfer them to another business wallet, but you can also top up your credit card and use it in any store. Ethics coins can be exchanged for any currency, or you can transfer your coin over to your bank account and turn them into liquid cash. Brands and select users have the unique opportunity to create their own integrated shop. The process is simple. You scan the QR code of the shop with your phone, and it sends an instant transaction of Ethics coins to the shop. This way, they can use the app as a personal and quick payment solution. Or simply make a purchase within the app by selecting your preferred item and making it into the payment. Ethics puts good on popular features such as live streaming. The live stream will be regarded as a piece of content, just like a photo, video, or comment. A live stream thus can be recorded with a like as well as donations in the form of direct transactions. The more reactive is contributing to the platform and people like what you post, the bigger your influence and the higher the impact on your life. Those with an already established online presence have the unique opportunity to be known as a main influencer by businesses within one of our 15 categories, ranging from fashion to sports. Average influencers are experts in their field and are credited with a large amount of points so that they are going to become unstoppable content creators and become visible. But where do all the rewards come from? The answer lies within the nature of blockchain technology. The blockchain is a decentralized peer-to-peer network that allows online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through financial institutions. The most popular blockchain and first cryptocurrency is Bitcoin, that gets created through a process called mining. Miners are machines that use computing power to mine currency and process transactions. What most people don't know is that there are over 800 cryptocurrencies with blockchains that each have unique features and advantages. Like Bitcoin, even the blockchain with transferable tokens that, unlike the Bitcoin blockchain in early 2015, introduced a new way of currency creation, contribution in a social network. Every currency works on top of the same blockchain. Every time a like button is used, coins are created which every user has the key to a human mining machine. And instead of paying the miners to secure the network, Ethics pays the people who post, comments, and writing. Think about a popular social media platform. It's not a secret that these platforms are worth billions of dollars. Unlike many other popular social media sites, where 100% of the creative value was owned by shareholders of the company, Ethics aims at creating a new environment where the power stays with the network and the creative value of the platform gets distributed in a fair way. The Ethics team combines crypto expertise with experience as a social media agent in the network of influential people across the world. Think of the invention of the internet, but we have to understand how the internet was built in order to use it. The world would not be as it is today. So don't worry if you don't understand how blockchain is the world just yet. With Ethics, you actually don't have to. The concept of ethics is already working, and we're just here to simplify matters. There's no better time to get on board than right now. We believe in our mission to give people back their return on investment for the time they spend on social media. We believe in our ability to introduce the world to blockchain technology through social networks. We believe in a decentralized economy where the power belongs to the people. We believe in you. Okay, guys, I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I hope, yes? Okay, great. So I hope you enjoyed this whole video. Now, turning likes into currency, as you just saw, is the plan here, where you don't need a million likes and brand deals in order to earn from your content, but the users, they can vote on what's valuable, and then based on that, the system automatically pays you. So let's see how this works on a bit more practical level. Next slide, please. So in this example here, you see the amount of followers someone has on Instagram. The engagement rate is around 4%. and the average likes the post, and then you see what the person was doing on average on Epic. They would post that exact same post on Epic. So the way to calculate it is through our engagement, through the average likes per post, and it's not just the followers you have. And then next example, you're someone with over 100,000 followers, and of course, the more you grow your audience and engagement, the more you receive, and the higher your earnings will be. And then what's very important to note here, so this is just 2 examples of how we calculated it using the current stats from Instagram and then translating it to Epics. Now if we go to the next slide, what's very important here to understand is that on Epics, not every like is the same. So just our like right now on social media, every single person's like is the same. So if Beyonce likes your post or I like your post, it's completely for the same amount, because it's just one like. Now in Epic, depending on how active you are on the platform and therefore the points you have in your integrated wallet, the bigger the weight of your vote. And this is important because let's say if you just joined the platform, then your like will have less of an impact than someone who's been posting, commenting, and liking for months. Now you can choose to, and this, let's go to the next slide. You can choose to invest into your account or buy Epic tokens to have bigger influence and boost your content. Or you can simply work your way up. But the main point here is that the more tokens you have, the higher your voting power, and therefore the bigger your influence on the platform. Next, please. Yeah. As you engage then on the platform and you get your rewards, your tokens directly go into your integrated wallet that stores all your Epic points. And then you can choose to either directly cash it out, meaning you're able to exchange it for any other currency, such as dollars, euros, or pesos, or you can choose to keep it in your wallet. And there are 2 main reasons why you would like to do that. Because number one, as I just explained, the more points you have in your wallet, the higher the weight of your vote and the authority on the platform. And then the second point is that the coins you're earning are cryptocurrency. So it's sort of like earning shares of the company, where as more people come on board and the platform grows in value, so does the value of your tokens. And so if you, for example, you put up a post now and it's worth $10 today, then in a year from now, that can be worth $50, $100. And so that's important to understand as well. Next, please. And then we have a new system of how we filter quality content. You still have hashtags that you can add to your posts, but there will be up to 20 categories from fashion to sports. And within these categories, you will have social media influencers that already have an audience and a reputation, and we're able to give some of these people a higher voting power by delegating them tokens. Now, before I go on with the presentation, I would like to show you just a quick skip through an animation of how our app currently looks like in beta mode. So if you guys can skip through that second video that I sent you, where you see the app, how you can upload and you see your voting power, and you swipe up and votes, and how you upload posts. And maybe Sandro, you can guide people a little bit through that process if you like. So if you guys can do that quickly, that would be great. Okay.
She's like, oh my God.
Is it this one? Yes. All right. Here's the demo from our app. So what this is the profile, and this is the main feed. And here's the slider, so you can give every vote a special kind of value. And of course, you can
give them a comment on every content, and you also get rewarded for comments and for upvoting. That's also a very important thing. But now also, if you create content or curated content, you will get rewarded for it. This is the Discover page. And yeah, we have 20 categories where you can, yes, get separate views on it. Here's a little view how you can upload your content. You can choose different filters, and you can choose a category. You can choose hashtags, and yeah, here you can give your content, yeah, some text on it. And this is the main category. It's also a little bit slow because it's on blockchain, but it works. I can show you a live demo on my mobile phone if you want to see later on. And you also can send your invitation. Yeah, I think that's all. So back to Umo.
Okay, great, guys. So we can go to the next slide to finish this off. Now, I'm going to share something that we've been doing for the past few months. So my team and I, we work very closely with our US team to really build a brand and a global network of 70+ million followers out our social media influencer network. We'd love to expand this into the Latin community. And this is so we can ensure that the categories will be filled with amazing content, and the people that are already respected figures in the space, they know how to detect and filter valuable content. And especially for early on the platform, we have a great chance of being seen by these people and being uploaded early. Now, next slide, please. The categories for content that I talked about before, 1 second. They change each year, depending on what users vote on as popular. But the one category, as you saw in the beta version that we have, that is going to stay is the purpose category, because that's really where we can make a change. Our purpose category is for people to share their stories and raise awareness about causes that they care about, and that way we can directly make an impact into good. So these two foundations that you see up there are foundations that we partnered with, where we gain exclusive content that will live on ethics. Number one, the first one is the Whole Foods Kids Foundation, which is an organization devoted to ending child obesity, very important topic. And the second one is Teen Kindness, and they have partnered with over 500 schools to bring awareness to the fact that simple acts of kindness can go a long way. And many celebrities have already committed to be a part of these campaigns. The next slide. We've also partnered with some major corporations, and the one we're particularly excited about is the new Netflix show that's coming out early next year. And I can't say a lot about it because the way they operate is just put up the show and then do the marketing. But again, it includes a lot of big figures in the space, and it's going to be huge. And so the reason why I mentioned those achievements is because our go-to-market strategy is very different from most of their projects. Next. Now, for the past year and a half, I've traveled to many conferences to talk about ethics and grow our community globally, because we understand that each market is very unique, and we have a good team in the US and Asia, but we want to expand it and make sure that the Latin community gets our full support. And in order to do this, we need you guys, and we want to invite you to build an ethics community in your native language. Next, please. Now up here you see our most active communities on Telegram, and we'd love to add a Spanish community. So if you're interested in doing that and sort of acting like a moderator, then please let us know. Next, please. And one feature that is going to be implemented right before the official launch is the direct transfer of points, which means that users will be able to send and receive tokens directly to their wallet and their social media profile. And that is huge because then no longer do we have to depend on corporations and pay fees to middlemen. It allows us to be more connected and take matters in our own hands. Next, please. For example, last year after Hurricane Maria hit Puerto Rico, and so many people lost their homes, food supply was short due to the natural disaster, but what most of them still had were mobile phones. Now imagine if you could directly, instantly send money and directly help these affected families and not wait for governments to do something or go to an organization where you don't really know where your money goes. Next slide. So what I hope you see by now is that ethics goes beyond just being a social media platform. It's a tool that allows us to be more empowered, decentralize control, and distribute wealth in a way that wasn't possible before. Next, please. Now, if you'd like to go beyond being just a user or possibly managing Spanish Telegram chat on our main communication channel, Telegram, we started an ambassador program that we want to expand globally, where we invite you to build a community in your native language, teach others about ethics, educate your local community, and find brands and influencers in the market, and of course, you'll be rewarded for that as well. Next, please. Now, finally, we plan on launching in March 2019, but we already, as you saw, have the beta version available. So this is for iOS and Android. If you want to know how to test it, check out the next slide and take a picture of it right now. Those are 3 steps that you can follow. The first one is that you fill out this form, and after you do this, you're going to receive information from us and a guide on how to get access to the Ethics app, because it currently requires you, just as you're in beta mode, to have a Steam account. So if you don't have one, we'll take you through that process. And then afterwards, with full launch, the sign-up process is going to be a lot easier, so don't worry about that. Please know that you've all taken a picture of this really important slide. Please skip to the last slide, because one final thing that we discussed with in our team is that we want to give people in this market the opportunity to buy the Ethics token at a discounted rate before the launch. We finished our ICO already, but this is going to be a small private sale from our team tokens. And so whether you're interested in buying tokens or to gain more power on the platform, or you're interested in being an ambassador for Ethics, or you simply want to test the app. My other co-founder, Andrew, is in the audience, so please don't be shy to approach him. Please then go stand up and wave around or something so people know who to approach. So welcome to the Ethics movement, and thank you for lending your ears and attention. Thank you. Okay, great.
Thank you.
A ver si vamos rápidamente con la última presentación. Esta blockchain startup se llama Tether y nos ayuda a comprar y vender criptomonedas con efectivo. Vamos
Vamos a hacer the mic.
Hamid Mehaya.
All right. Hello, everyone. You still up? Awake? Let's do it again. Are you still awake? Come on, guys. Come on. Last presentation of all. Sorry again for the sound problems we had tonight. As you may have seen, I improvise myself as the sound engineer, but this is just something we do not on a daily basis, because on a daily basis, I'm the co-founder of a project called Tether. So with Tether, you can buy and sell a currency with cash. So before we get started, I first wanted to thank you all for coming tonight. It's really amazing to see that people all over the world attend watching events. And what you guys said until the last presentation, so thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So my name is Amit. I'm from Paris, France. This is where I was born, this is where I grew up, and this is where I actually learned about blockchain technology. And before we get started, I wanted to ask you a question. This is something I ask the audience wherever I go in the world. And please don't be shy. Why did you come tonight? What's the reason why you chose to come here and actually spend time with your family? Don't be shy. Come on. Yes?
We're in the current trends of training now, learn more about these projects, and like have better global perspective.
The perspective about blockchain projects.
Passing now,
Happening. What's your name?
Alejandro.
Alejandro. You just won the deeper t-shirt. Okay. I told you it was worth it to stay until the end. So yeah, blockchain technology, trends, cryptocurrencies, hot topics. So blockchain technology is amazing technology that is changing my world, that is changing the world, that was actually born not yesterday, but 10 years ago, and was invented by a group of persons, someone that we don't even know. And actually, the second question I wanted to ask you is, do you know what's the very first blockchain was invented? The very first one. Raise your hand if you have the answer, yeah? Pete, what's your name? Eddie? Did you want to did the t-shirt? Did, yes, you did. Yeah, Bitcoin was invented by Satoshi Nakamoto about 10 years ago, and he or she or they wrote this beautiful white paper that I recommend you to read. Bitcoin, peer-to-peer electronic cash system. The idea behind it was to actually go from a centralized banking system, where, as you may know, a central entity will actually create money and distribute it to a decentralized one, where actually computers maintain a consensus system, and where anybody, so you and me, would be able to buy this cryptocurrency because it's a currency and actually own it. This is yours, and nobody can steal it from you. You may have you may have money in your bank account. Well, guess what? If tomorrow your bank is actually bankrupt, sorry for your loss. You don't have money anymore. The cryptocurrency is different. It's in a computer, on a cell phone, on a piece of paper. This is yours. Nobody can steal it from you. And this is really important because what can you do actually with blockchain technology? Three amazing things. You can fight censorship, fraud, and corruption. When you use blockchain technology and decentralized applications, you have power over your data, your rights, your money, as we said, etc., etc. And this is really, really amazing. So you saw all these decentralized applications that are being built on top of blockchain, especially within blockchain. But the question is, what do you need to interact with blockchain technology and decentralized applications? Well, you need something, cryptocurrency. You cannot interact with blockchain, for example, with the US dollar. You need cryptocurrency, that's for sure. And what would you even hold cryptocurrency? What's the reason behind it? Right. Question I was asking, do you have cryptocurrency at this one? So about the third, you said earlier, right? So why would you even hold cryptocurrency? So the first reason is usually investment. You saw last year at the beginning of the year, the value of crypto was actually rising like crazy. So everybody was like, okay, I'm going to invest, I'm going to be rich, maybe not, but I want to give it a try. So this is like the top reason why people go to cryptocurrency. The second one was to prevent from inflation or hyperinflation. You may know the case in Venezuela, the money over there is worth nothing. What you can do, what you can buy today with money is nothing compared to what you can buy tomorrow. For example, if you want to buy like a coffee, or with your friend, have a coffee together, that's going to cost you like millions of currency, which is really great. So one of the reasons people that go with crypto is because it's like a safe haven currency for them. And the last reason is obvious, that's what we're talking about. If you want to interact with blockchain with cryptos, let's imagine you use Netflix, for example, as you saw. You post a picture and you earn the currency because your picture becomes popular, so you're gonna earn the currency. And then how do you do to actually cash it out? Because maybe you want to actually transform it into fiat currency. So how do you actually buy some cryptocurrency today? Well, this is the process, and there's a huge problem with it. Why? Because you have to go on your phone or your computer. You have to log into your bank accounts, check how much money you have, make a bank transfer to an online crypto exchange. Then you have to buy the crypto, or not even talking about doing through the KYC, etc., etc. Basically, if tonight you've never bought the currency you want to do it, you're not going to do it tonight actually. That's going to take days or weeks. The second problem is that you actually need a bank account. And guess what? Today in the world, 2 billion people don't have bank accounts. So how do you make sure that these people tomorrow will actually have access to cryptocurrency on blockchain technology? And I think this is the case in Peru. I was talking earlier to someone from Peru, who told me that more than 60% of the population don't have a bank account. So how tomorrow will they buy cryptocurrency or use decentralized applications? And even if they actually have a bank account, most of the online exchanges actually only accept the most top famous currencies, so like US dollar or euro. And centralized exchanges actually suck because they get hacked. Usually you can buy into crypto on these, and a hacker will actually just come, sell your money, and again, like a centralized system like banks, sorry for your loss. That's the reason why we chose to create G3. G3 is a mobile app that enables you to buy and sell cryptocurrency with any currency, with any chapters. And we do it in a decentralized way, and also especially in a peer-to-peer way. So the idea with G3 is that if you have cash with you right now, if you have bills, if you have coins, you can buy cryptocurrency. So it's open to anyone, because in the world, everybody has access to cash. Okay? This is something that we all share in all countries. So our goal is to build a bridge between cash and cryptocurrency. So how do we do it? During the demonstration. So you can also take your phone and try it. You can go on app.ether.io, and I will guide you on how to do it. So basically, there are 3 ways. You can go home otherwise on the computer or the I/O. Secondly, you can go on the Google Play Store if you have an Android and just search for Ether and you will find us. And if you have an iPhone, you can also go to app.ether.io and you can install it as what we call progressive web app. So what's a progressive web app? It's a way to download an app without going through an app store like the Apple Store. Why did we choose to do that? Because Apple is actually against cryptocurrency. If you go on the App Store, they are censoring a lot of cryptocurrency applications because they don't like it. So we thought if tomorrow we actually propose you an app and then you cannot use it anymore, well, what's the point? Because we want to fight censorship. This is our goal. So let's try the example of how to do Ether as a progressive web app. So, like I said, you can go on your phone. If you're using an iPhone, you should use Safari and go on app.ether.io. If you have an Android, you can go on Chrome on app.ether.io. And we actually show you how to install the app in 2 clicks. You just tap the button, the share button at the very bottom of the screen. Then it's on the top of this, as you may know. You just then tap add home screen. Very simple, you can slide on the right, you will find it. And that's it. You will have the application on your phone just like that. It's a very easy. So then when you launch the app, you propose you 2 things. To create a wallet or to import one. If you already have a wallet, you can just copy paste the backup phrase and you'll see again the cryptocurrencies. If you don't have a wallet, you just click on create, and this is what's going to happen. You'll then choose a password. Why do we propose you to choose a password? Because basically it's going to encrypt what we call the private key. The private key is what enables you personally and only you to actually send cryptocurrency to someone, to unlock your wallet. It means that us as a company, we don't keep a copy of your private key. You are the only one who has it. And you choose a password in case, for example, you lose your phone. Let's imagine you lose your phone. well, the person that finds your phone won't be able to do anything without the password. So you still keep your money because they don't know the password. And then you can choose an avatar. So we here trying to make it also more fun, use what you know. And that's it. This is your Ether wallet. Basically, you will have the choice between many currencies that you can use, that you can buy, that you can fund. So let's imagine now that you actually want to buy cryptocurrency from someone. Okay? So you're going to click on map. Okay. It's going to show you on the map the closest crypto seller around you. For example, there is one in Lima, as you can see, and you will click on the profile of this person. Well, that's me. So you can see how much the seller is actually selling in terms of crypto, how much they're buying in case they want someone to buy, the fee that they take to the commission, so in this case 2%, the number of trades that I've made, you can see on the top, below my username, so for example, 3 transactions, and also at the bottom, my location. So it doesn't mean that I am there right now, but it means that I'm willing to sell in this area. So then you can click on chat on Telegram, and then we're gonna have a conversation in order to agree on the trading conditions, like how much do you want to buy crypto from me, how much, what's the condition that I take if you want to bargain also, if possible. Where are we going to meet up? Because we are really going to meet up for real, in the real world, let's say, in our time. So then, when we're gonna meet up, you're gonna take your digital wallet, you're gonna click on the receipt button, and it's gonna pop up your QR code. And this way, I'm going to be able to actually send you the cryptocurrency directly into your wallet when I'm gonna meet up with you. So you will give me the cash, and I will directly send you the cryptocurrency, and you will directly receive it in your wallet. So now let's imagine you want to sell cryptocurrency. That you already have cryptocurrency, you want a third of you here in the audience, and you want to become a seller on the map. So you're going to click on sell. And this is what's going to show you. This is how to create an offer. So like you saw, you will have the choice to buy or sell cryptocurrency from someone. And you're going to choose your margin from 0% to 100%. So we do that because we give you the ability to choose the amount that you actually want to charge to people. Let's imagine you travel a lot and you go to a country like Zimbabwe where the demand of the currency is really high. You will probably put 100% as a fee, and people will actually buy the currency from you because the demand is really high. Now, if you go to a country like France, well, the demand is actually lower because there are a lot of people selling crypto because you can buy it easily online, so you can just put 2% for example. So then you can choose how much you're going to sell in terms of crypto. You can put your Telegram username. So for now, we use Telegram for chatting, but we are working on a system where you can just stay on the app to chat, so you don't have to use your app. And the currency. So you will check, we actually also have most of the South American currency on the data. And the location, of course, where you would like to trade with people. And that's it. This is the screen that you're going to have. We will have a couple options to sell crypto, to sell recent cash, and also to edit your previous site. And when you're going to meet up with the person, the buyer, you're going to click on sell, and this is the screen that's going to show you. So you will basically choose the amount in terms of fiat that you are selling to the person. So in this case, for example, OPN, and automatically it will give you the price in Ether. You don't even have to do the math by yourself, it's automatic. And then when you click on continue, it's going to pop up the QR code scanning system that I showed you earlier. You will just scan the QR code of the person in the wallet. So it could be any wallet, it doesn't have to be digital wallet, it can be a person that doesn't have digital wallets, and then they will receive it into their wallet. Third thing that you can do with Ether, it's really important. You can also swap from one crypto to another. Let's imagine you bought Ether from someone, and you want to buy them a token, you can just tap on the exchange feature and choose the currency that you want to swap. Last but not least, as it's a map, you can also locate on the map shops where you can actually spend your cryptocurrency. And actually, I saw one today here in Lima that I didn't know of, where you can actually go and pay with cryptocurrency. And if you are actually shop owner, you can go on shop.twitter.io and actually register your own point of sale, your own shop on the map, so that people can come to the shop and spend their crypto. So what's so special about the Twitter app? Three things, three simple things. We don't take permissions on trades. We don't do that because we think it's unfair. So we don't charge fees. The seller is the only one who is free to choose his own. Secondly, we don't control your phone again. We don't have power over your phone. You are the only one who has access to your phone. You cannot steal your money. It's always on your device and protected by your password. And to finish, it's also a decentralized ecosystem of trusted people based on what we call on the smart contract reputation system. So like you saw, it's based on the number of trades that you made and the volume that you traded with people. So the idea here with people is that we go from ATMs, which you know, the machines where you can withdraw money or buy crypto, to PTMs, person teller machine. The idea here is that if you have cryptocurrency on your cell phone, you can turn your cell phone into a mobile ATM. It's very simple. Wherever you go in the world, now you can become a seller of cryptocurrency with your cell phone. And wherever you go in the world, you can buy cryptocurrency with your cell phone from anyone, and without going through a centralized entity, and without also giving too much information about who you are to a centralized entity as well. One of the other use cases that I usually present, because it's something that happened to me, is remittance. If you want to send money to someone, if you want to receive money from, for example, a family member or relative, many people use Western Union. But this is, I want to say, the old school. Now that we have dApps like Twitter, you can basically do it with decentralized. So let me give you an example. Do you know this person by any chance? No? Well, that's normal, it's my cousin. His name is Mansour, he's from Algeria, and because he's my cousin, I wanted to help him. Send him some money from France. Knowing he was like, he had like a terrible situation, so we look, I'm going to send him 100 euros. And the typical thing that I thought of was, yeah, I'm going to use Western Union. But guess what? They take 10%, which is for him a lot of money. 10 euros for him is a lot of money. So instead of receiving what I'm actually sending to him, which is 100 euros, he will only get 90 euros. You know, like, this is just crazy. We have this technology that's blockchain. We can transfer value to another person for a few cents. So let's just do it. And this is what we did. I sent him some Ether, which is, you know, cryptocurrency. It actually costed 1 cent. So I sent the equivalent of 100 euros to him. He received 99 euros 99 cents. And then he was like, what am I going to do with Ether? Because here in Algeria, nobody accepts Ether. You know what he did? He created a point of sale on the map. And in a couple hours, someone contacted him on Telegram and was like, I want to buy cryptocurrency from you because in Algeria, few people sell crypto. So he sold the Ether that I sent to him, and he actually made money from it. So you see, from like a remittance use case, people can now transfer value to other people all over the world. And this is something we can do here as well in Peru. You know, a lot of people I know have family in the US or in Canada, mostly in the US. They still use solutions like Western Union. So why not use blockchain technology and also now become PTMs and create value and enable people here in Peru that don't have a bank account to have access to the currency. So if you can do that, you will actually also make money from it. So this is really like not just the company's project, as you understood. We don't take commission for trade, we don't want to make money from it. We're more like an ecosystem of people who just want to, this is our slogan actually, break barriers to cryptocurrency mass adoption. So I actually wanted to challenge you. As you may know, we are doing like a tour in South America. Yesterday we're in Brazil, tomorrow we're going to Ecuador. And we actually going to enroll people and increase our sales overnight. So if you have cryptocurrency, even if it's like just 10 euro or 10 US dollar, we'll just go on the Deeper app, create a point of sale, and we'll also reward you by sending to you some tokens. Because we think that it's also important for us to value the work that you do, because it's also going to help people here in Peru to have access to blockchain technology. So thank you so much for your attention, and see you soon on video. Thank you. All right, I think you want to say a word to close maybe the conference?
Yeah, really good. So, everybody that did the speech, could you please come here? Vicky? Renee? Can you please come here, Sandro? Bueno, hemos llegado al final de este evento. Les agradecemos muchísimo que se hayan quedado hasta el final, que nos hayan tenido paciencia. Esta es una nueva tecnología que tiene el potencial de impactar muchísimo en el Perú, sobre todo en nuestros problemas principales, que es la falta de transparencia, la falta de eficiencia. Quiero que les den un gran aplauso a estos muchachos por hacer el esfuerzo de venir si alguno de ustedes tiene alguna pregunta puntual, por favor, este es el momento. Nos vamos a quedar unos 10 minutos más máximo. Así que si alguien tiene una pregunta, puede levantar la mano.
Hello. Well, thanks. I want to basically like to share your knowledge with us. I had a question with how do you secure the buyers and the sellers for the shopping or investing of cryptocurrency? Because there is the working on BBS, correct? But locally the seller or
Yes.
cryptocurrency.
Because we only recognize your location when you create your point of sale. So after that, if you move, we don't know where you are, basically. And we don't keep the data. It's like on the blockchain, where you created the point of sale. And that's it. And we don't keep the data. We don't have actually a database. Everything is in the blockchain.
Okay, and the seller, how does you see the local one, person to person?
Yeah.
Yeah, my question is, in Latin America, you have another technologies similar, like that, like local control, for example. They use a bank, but the data user is in the sample. For example, in Peru is I would like to buy or want to sell one Bitcoin to a person. And the person has it in cash. The person is also to the contacts and the information of the person is clear for the transaction. And
If the buyer, how do you secure the transaction when you're a seller?
Because
the buyer is trustworthy.
it's cash. The Bitcoin is allowed one. What you secure a data or sent by the buyer or the seller is the person, the same, and no fake person, and no fake data.
What's the structure of the sale? What's the risk that
For example, a buyer is what Bitcoin to a person. The person is the lowest They say what Bitcoin. They have one Bitcoin. Go to the person and I don't have the one Bitcoin. Oh, okay, like that.
So we do two things. The first thing is the reputation system. Everything is based on reputation. It's like in the marketplace, Uber, Airbnb, everything is based on reputation. But in our case, like I said, we decentralized. It's based on the number of trades that the person made. So you can see if they trade just once. So maybe they're not too trustworthy, they only made one transaction, or if they made like 1,000. So if you look at the 1,000, you can make sure that this person is not a scammer.
Like if I start.
Oh yeah, we know about the start at the beginning of course in the country. But the third thing, so the first one I said is the number of transactions, the volume, because you want to see how much the person actually traded. The most important is the third thing, comments. This one we're working on right now. You will see all the comments that the people left when they started a transaction with someone. So let's imagine I want to buy crypto from you, and I tell you, all right, let's meet in that street over there in 1 hour, but I don't show up. You will give me bad reputation for that because I didn't show up. Okay? So then when people after that will see that, they won't buy cryptocurrency from you, they won't sell it to you. Okay? And the second thing we do is to finish, we give a lot of tips to users. We tell them, do that, don't do that. Like, don't do it in the middle of the night, like right now, and to trade someone. I wouldn't do that. I would go in the middle of the day, in a public place, where there might, for example, a camera, where people can see, etc., etc. And most of the cases, it's perfectly fine. Because if you do that to someone with a scammer, he's not going to show up. Thank you so much.
So I have a question regarding the, for each of you, perhaps you can touch on a little bit. The markets recently, we know, they've been crushing pretty much. And I know that most of your projects have been financing through Ethereum, right? For your ICOs and so on. So I would like to know a little bit, how has it impacted your projects? Has it delayed your roadmaps? Have you had issues in terms of funding to your developers, etc., your team members? Just to have a little bit of a quick idea of
Pues sí, efectivamente el mercado ha pegado, ¿no? Y pues todos los que mantenemos ahora sí que con las criptomonedas para los proyectos, obviamente tiene un efecto. Sin embargo, este efecto lo tomamos también como positivo para poder tomar mejor una claridad en el camino que estamos llevando y dar prioridad a funciones, estrategias, maneras de hacer un proyecto con mayor calidad y con menos trabajo, por así decirlo. Sin embargo, reconocemos que pues, el trabajo en blockchain aún así es difícil, ¿no? Es tecnología emergente y obviamente conlleva mucho trabajo. Pero yo creo que no afecta en un sentido negativo, sino, como mencioné, en un sentido positivo, para cambiar la perspectiva y el enfoque y desarrollar tecnología para que realmente se empiece a utilizar y llegar ahora sí al uso masivo de todos esos proyectos.
I haven't understand what you said, but yes, of course it's a bad situation. And yes, private crypto projects very bad, as you said. But the positive thing is that really bad projects will leave the market and will not follow the project. And so we think that, I think that this will separate the good project and really want to push this technology front, push it forward, and the bad project that just want to scale money or take the money and don't want to push the technology. So yeah, that's my perspective. And I think in 2019, all will go up and we will see where this all will go.
Let's hope it goes up again. First of all, and in Smart City as well, we just focus on getting the steps done one after another, and then we take it from there. We are not interfered by the value at any time. So.
I mean, in terms of funding, like, how do you fund your teams at the moment?
I think Brendan is better to reply on this, but I will think address him. You have access to the WhatsApp group?
Oh, yeah,
By any chance? Yeah, then I will put it in there. And then you have a more detailed overview of that. Any other questions?
Just a little question just for Victor. It's not clear for me if Victor also works with Bitcoin and other producers or only works with within the Ethereum blockchain or PLC.
Very good question. Because yeah, Bitcoin is basically the most popular cryptocurrency. So for now, it's only based on Ethereum. So you can only buy and sell Ether, and ERC tokens. So why is that? Because the whole application is based on Ethereum on smart contracts. So now we're working with projects like Woodstock, RC, I don't know if you know them. They actually oh, okay, over there, okay, well. But I didn't know we're working with them basically to see how we can connect Bitcoin to the Ether app. This is what they do. So that's the idea. So people can just come with the Ether app to buy the currencies that use other blockchains. For now, to be honest, technically it's really hard. Nobody has done it until now. But hopefully until I don't know, like in a year, let's say that we will be able to do it.
Question for Peter as well. Have you thought of using stable coins?
Yeah, we have it. You see, we have two stablecoins. We have DAI, which is like a decentralized stablecoin based on US dollar. So you can use it on the Ether app because if they don't want to assume the volatility of the currency, that's fine. I mean, I use it sometimes. It's okay. There's another one that's well known, which is called Haven stable token. It's a project we know. They are from Australia. We have the team. They got in touch with us. We added them to the app. So yeah, we can do that.
I have one question about your projects. You mentioned, yes, you mentioned that you were creating or that you have created a framework to develop these user applications. I'm very curious how that works, which technology it uses, maybe Solidity, but some frameworks.
Sí, se pueden utilizar diferentes tipos de lenguajes. Uno de ellos, como mencionaba en la plática, es JavaScript, que es un lenguaje de código muy común. Y también puedes utilizar algo de Solidity. Y no recuerdo cuál otro lenguaje, pero puedes visitar la página ember.status.im y ahí puedes, ahora sí que ver todo el framework y empezar a utilizar la consola. Y hace poco se hizo una actualización, es Ember 4.0 y súper facilísimo para utilizar.
Es todo sobre Ethereum.
Sobre Ethereum. Son para desarrollar aplicaciones descentralizadas en Ethereum, en el ecosistema de Ethereum. Sí. Sí. ¿Alguna otra pregunta? ¿No? ¿Pueden pasar para acá para tomarnos una foto todos?
Vamos. Lo último.
Y vamos a cantar una canción todos juntos. ¿Cuál se sabe? ¿Cuál se sabe? Happy birthday.
Pero sí, sí, bueno, no se puedan. Igual que con los dos. Y no se tapan, chicos, que no están en niveles para de cabeza. Sí, los de la tercera fila no lo veo. Los que están hacia atrás, pero
A ver, chicos, miren hacia acá, por favor. Escriban una, dos, tres, una más. Funny.
Do you have a minute? Could you show me how water is?
It's a beta version.
Yeah, for sure. So yes, it's mainstream. It's similar to Instagram. Okay. Post it actually on the screen. Okay. And yeah, and we can see categories. Some computers like hard training, news, and then you can search for categories. Do you have your own account there? Can I see your picture?
Yes, sure.
Doesn't matter, but you work on it inside.
Yeah, that's like how
But
it involves.
But I have a question there. Okay, if you have if you reach like 18 votes,
Yeah.
that means you're gonna have some money, or that's no, it's like don't have any relation about if you have any a lot of votes with money or with crypto.
Depends on your audience. So if your audience has a lot of voting power, it means they have been very active in the past, or they have a lot of tokens in their account. The voting has much more value than someone who's new to the space, or they have 0 points in their wallet. So it really depends on that.
Okay, and question, what happened if I wanna create an account for like a group where it's like no for profit, and I put some pictures? Is that possible, or
Yeah.
can
I mean, it's
I mean, I work with child
yeah.
in a company of non-profit, so we use our money for those sites. So, but I now what I know about your company or your app, if I could do like some picture with the child with all the group, and we can do something better for them because we don't have a lot of money for them, but we do something for them. So if that's possible,
What we have is purpose. It's kind of like charity.
yeah, it's something.
Kind of like this. Yes, that's why we built the purpose section. So it's kind of like where you can introduce something about some special people or a situation where people can vote on it. And kind of like contribute to them. And we also will have the ability later on so that people can thank you directly kind of like donations. And yes, it's also possible.
One thing what I don't understand is if they send me the cryptocurrency with habits, how can I change that cryptocurrency to another, like a, I don't know, US dollar or something? How I can change because
Viva is one example, so you send this fund to Viva, so not at the moment because we're waiting for the launch. We will launch in March next year. So it's one opportunity to send maybe your coins to an exchange. There you have a wallet, and then you can transfer this one way. Later on, we will have the opportunity to do it directly at
But I can pass all the cryptocurrencies for with earning APIs to Coinbase.
Yeah.
My wallet Coinbase.
Yeah, we are not listed on Coinbase at the moment, but yes, you can put it on the exchange and change for example, Bitcoin or Ethereum, what's best for you. And the Ethereum investors, when you send it to them, you can sell it on Coinbase. That's not a problem.
That's awesome. Your application is awesome. Thanks very much.
I can, yeah, thank you. I can give you a flyer.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm gonna show because I saw you wanna create. I mean, the girl told something like she wants to create a group of Spanish people or people who speak Spanish, something like that. But nice, man.
It's really similar to Steam. I don't know if you heard about Steam. Yeah. It's kind of like blogging system. We are looking for blogging different blockchain. So, but this is you reach more people and it should be very we are the
I know a lot of musicians, away. It's very complicated. So this what can I do for you, like bass or me? Maybe you already know. No, you already have it.
Yeah, sure.
What's your name?
My name?
What's your role in your